welcome to the channel. I'm back to break down this 9-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings. Before we get into it, if you do enjoy the content at any point in this video, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, I would greatly appreciate that. YouTube continues to tell me about 60% of my audience is not subscribed. So if that is you and you enjoy the content, or I provide you with any value throughout this video, if you could take one moment to do that, I would greatly appreciate it, guys. And thank you for all the support that we've received so far. We're up over 350 subscribers on the way to 400, so thank you. And if you are interested in some further content from me, if you're getting really serious about NBA DFS, if you're grinding night in and night out, I would highly recommend my Patreon package over here on Patreon, where you can get access to my premium NBA projections, NBA data sheet, player stats, team stats, play context stats, core plays, injury impact insights, and NBA Discord chat access, all for an affordable price. I've been playing daily fantasy sports since 2016. I have been a member of these other sites where they charge you $30, $40 a month. I know what they have to offer, and I've put together a package that offers everything they offer and more. Gotten a lot of really good feedback on it, so if you are really looking to get serious, highly recommend checking that out. Link below in the description. If you're just more of a casual player and here just to play for fun, I will be here giving you free content every single day on the channel, so no worries, stick around, giving you my free picks. And don't forget, at the end of the video, I will be giving my lock of the night. It's a segment I do every single video on this channel, my guy that I would be putting in 100% my lineups if I had to pick one guy. Sometimes it's going to be an elite play, sometimes it's going to be a cheap play, depending on the slate. Mid-range, all of the above. It's just the guy that I'm most willing to lock into my lineups. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and start breaking down this 1-2 day. First game on the slate, we got San Antonio taking on Charlotte. This game comes in right now with a 228 over-under with a 1.5 point spread in favor of the San Antonio Spurs. So, expected to stay close and a pretty fairly decent pace. Now, we do have Devontae Graham back and healthy on the Hornets side, so that's going to limit our appeal in guys like Terry Rozier and the LaMelo Ball compared to what we did have without Devontae Graham. However, with that being said, they did start LaMelo Ball alongside all these guys last time. Played 37 minutes and put up 46 DraftKings points. He did get a good matchup taking on Minnesota squad, so keep that in mind. Last time out, the Minnesota squad's arguably one of the best matchups you could possibly have. I've been targeting them all season long. Terry Rozier put up a 57 points, and Devontae Graham at 6'1" put up a measly 15 points. So it's still Terry Rozier and LaMelo Ball getting most of the usage, I guess you could say. But we know that all of these guys are healthy now. It's not just all LaMelo and Terry Rozier. So chances are only two of these guys are going to get there for you. So I would recommend playing either one or two in your lineups, nothing more than that. Gordon Hayward at 7.5 continues to be a great play no matter what, because he's a wing and they don't really affect his usage as far as that's concerned. On the wing, they affect his usage overall, unfortunately. So he's only seen 39, 31, 22, and 31 DraftKings points the last 3 times out, seeing his usage and his upside being reduced slightly with the LaMelo Ball in the lineup. So, yeah, just know what you're getting there on the Charlotte side. There was a point where we could be able to just lock them in pretty easily. And then on the San Antonio side, it's kind of the same story. LaMarcus Aldridge continues to be out, but the rotations are a little bit inconsistent. They're kind of moving these guys around minutes and stuff. DeJounte Murray at 7K will continue to be my favorite option based on his price tag. 34 DraftKings points last month, but he's only playing like mid-20s minutes all of a sudden. So they're spreading this rotation pretty thin. Keldon Johnson at 5'6". Played 28 minutes last time out after he was consistently seeing like mid-30s minutes. So, yeah, play these guys in a decently paced game if you want, but I have a feeling there's going to be other spots on the slate that we like more. Minnesota taking on Toronto. Karl-Anthony Towns is back. This game comes in with a 229.5 over-under with an 8.5 point spread in favor of the Toronto Raptors. So, Minnesota might get blown out in this one, is what Vegas is telling us. D'Angelo Russell continues to be out. OG Anunoby is listed as questionable after being out for quite some time now. He was able to practice Saturday, so there's a good chance he comes back. And if he does, he will probably be on a minutes limit. However, they're still going to cut into the minutes of a guy like a Chris Boucher and a Norman Powell. Those two guys I'd be a little skeptical on playing if OG comes back, because I don't think they're going to see quite the minutes and or usage that they were receiving with OG out. Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, and Fred VanVleet I will continue to have interest in. All these guys see around upper 30s to 40 minutes a game. So in a matchup against a Minnesota squad that I was just talking about in the previous game, where it's one of the best matchups you could possibly have, I really do like all these guys. The only possible thing that I could see limiting them is the blowout. So maybe paying down for a Kyle Lowry at the cheapest price tag, knowing he can get you there, even if it does turn into a blowout, makes some sense rather than paying all the way up for Fred VanVleet at 8.3. That'd be my best advice there. Karl-Anthony Towns on the other side at 9.4 is going to be the only way that Minnesota stays in this game, so he's going to continue to make sense as a play. Now, Toronto's not exactly the best matchup, but we know Karl-Anthony Towns' upside, and he is only priced in the low 9K range as opposed to getting all the way up in like the 10K range where we saw him priced early on in the season. So Karl-Anthony Towns will continue to be an intriguing play. It's just a matter of if we're really wanting to play 9.4 for a guy that just got back off injury and doesn't have the best matchup, when we might have some cheaper centers that we get to later on the slate that we like a little more. Like I said about Chris Boucher, I'd love to say go ahead and play him. This guy's been killing it recently, but his price tag's all the way up to 6.8, the highest it's been, and there's a good chance OG Anunoby comes back. So to me, he's just an easy fade. Maybe a lot of people play him because of how much he's been killing it lately, and we're able to fade him and kill off some of those entries in the field that don't know or aren't aware that a big reason he's been producing is because OG Anunoby's been out. New Orleans taking on Detroit. Brandon Ingram at 8.4. This game comes in with a 221 over-under with a 4-point spread in favor of the New Orleans Pelicans. So, not exactly the highest, most appealing game as far as pace is concerned. However, the Detroit side has been very bad defensively, and the New Orleans side hasn't been much better. So it's not like these guys have tough matchups. It's just a matter of pace. Plumlee is listed as questionable. He's been out for a while now. Isaiah Stort's continued to see starts, so we'll continue to have some interest in Isaiah Stort if he gets a start in this one at 3.6. If Mason Plumlee's back, we'll like him. And Willy Hernangomez down here at 4.1 for the New Orleans side continues to see decent minutes, so I guess you could pivot to him if Mason Plumlee's in as far as a cheap center play. Just run that by you real quick. But overall, I'm looking to play Zion Williams at the top. Brandon Ingram at 8.4. I'm going to continue to fade. I just don't think this guy has been producing consistently enough at the high upside. Last time out, he did put up 46 DraftKings points in a very up-tempo game taking on Dallas. But one of the best possible pace matchups you could have there, and he got the 46, so still not like he had a huge game. I'd rather be playing Zion Williamson at 8.1, who has more rebound upside down low. We're guaranteed to get those rebounds, so I'd rather take the discount on him. On the Detroit side, it's Jeremiah Grant at 7.4. That's the most obvious play. There's a reason he's priced up the most in the offense. And Blake Griffin, I'll continue to have some interest in as well if there's no Mason Plumlee, because his rebounding upside will be higher, as well as Josh Jackson, DeLon Wright. These are really the only guys I'm looking to play on the Detroit side. You could play a where is he here? Wayne Ellington. If you're trying to get kind of sneaky, because he has seen around 20 minutes a game since coming back, there's a good chance he could see a little more than that, and he can't shoot the 3-ball very well, and he's down all the way to 3.5. So I could see you getting Wayne Ellington at really low ownership and him paying off at that price tag. Now, Josh Hart and Nickeil Alexander-Walker are listed as questionable on the New Orleans side, which could be interesting, because that means if both these guys are out, we can see a lot of J.J. Redick minutes, or just if one of them are out. And then we could also see Kyra Lewis. So that's actually some pretty relevant news, because these guys would become very good value plays. So keep an eye on that news for sure. J.J. Redick's down here at 3.3. Kyra Lewis is 3.1. So those guys, I'd feel real good playing them in my lineups if I needed that cheap salary relief. Portland taking on Dallas. Luka Doncic comes in at 11.1. This game comes in with a 239 over-under with a 4.5-point spread in favor of the Dallas Mavericks. Expected to be an absolute, just ridiculously fast-paced game. You're going to have a lot of interesting guys in this one, specifically Luka Doncic and Damian Lillard. Absolutely love these guys. I would be trying to play both of these guys in my lineups today if possible, because this game is just going to be ridiculously fast. These guys produce at a very high DK point per minute rate, and it's just an absolute smash spot. So Damian Lillard continues to see all the usage with no CJ McCollum, waiting on a big game from him. And if there was ever a time for him to explode, this would be the game. So he makes a ton of sense. Kristaps Porzingis, Enes Kanter, Gary Trent. I mean, you could have interest in literally every single person in this game, and I am not exaggerating. Now, of course, you can't play them all in the same lineup. Most likely, you can't play like Enes Kanter, Gary Trent Jr., Carmelo Anthony, and Robert Covington. That's just not going to work. You have to pick a couple of these guys, but they can definitely get you there, and this game's going to provide you with some very up-tempo, good fantasy point goodness, as they like to say. So, Yeah, a lot of interest to be had here. Specifically, um, the high pay up options. So it's Luka Doncic, Damian Lillard, Kristaps Porzingis, Enes Kanter, Gary Trent. They're the highest priced guys for a reason. Their production has been the best, and they're in the best game environment on the slate. And then you can't have more interest in a guy like a Tim Hardaway Jr., Jalen Brunson, Josh Richardson than you would typically have, and maybe some lower ownership than you would typically expect in a game this fast. So these guys become sneaky tournament dart plays as well. Jalen Brunson putting up 34 and 32 DraftKings points the last 2 times out. Being involved in some very fast-paced games lately, and this one's not going to change that trend. So, yeah, I like Jalen Brunson as a tournament play as well. Rodney Hood's listed as questionable would be the last thing I will mention on the Portland side. So if he's out, you're looking to a bump for guys like Anthony Simmons and Derek Jones. So they become more, realistic plays as well. Milwaukee taking on Oklahoma City. This game is expected to be an absolute blowout, an 11-point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks, and not exactly the highest paced game. So Giannis at 10-9. Could you play him? Sure, if we have enough value to fit him in. Will I be prioritizing him over, like pay up options like Damian Lillard and Luka Doncic in the previous game? Absolutely not. But maybe we have enough value to where we can fit him in with some of those New Orleans guys that I discussed earlier, the cheap end. And then, Drew Holiday continues to be out, so Chris Middleton continues to be a great play at 7-8. He's going to continue to see a bunch of usage. He put up 63 and 44 DraftKings points back to back, big games, and then he only put up 26 last time. I think we see him get back on track in this one. And then you're going to continue to like Dante DiVincenzo as well at 5-2. He'll continue to see a big bump in minutes and usage as well. So those two guys I'm looking to prioritize over Giannis probably. And then if this game turns into a blowout, my favorite blowout guy, if you've been watching my videos for a while, I love playing Bobby Portis at 4-6 when these games turn into blowouts because this guy's fantasy point per minute production is ridiculous. We've seen him put up 41 and 43 DraftKings points in only 24 and 17 minutes on the season. If he's able to get up in the mid-20s to 30 minutes, even if it's a blowout, Bobby Portis is going to crush that price tag for you. And then on the Oklahoma City side, it's Diallo, Al Horford, Baisley. These guys continue to be shorthanded, so all these guys are going to continue to be relied on very heavily. So these guys all make sense as plays. Fairly easy to see why. They're the only ones they have. They have to go out there and score points, or else their team's just not going to score points. So pretty narrowed down to who we can play here. Isaiah Roby at 4K. I do think is an intriguing option. He only played 19 minutes last time out. I think some of that had to do with the fact that he's coming off the injury for the first game. Now that he's had a few days rest, I think we could see him get back up into some bigger minutes. And at only 4K, he could be an intriguing play as well. Not to mention if it does turn into a blowout, they're not going to keep the older veteran Al Horford on the floor. They're going to put in the younger guys, so that's when he would really explode on the scene and have a big game. So that's my breakdown there. Orlando taking on Phoenix at the 9 o'clock spot here. We got Nikola Vucevic at 9-8, who continues to be an absolute fantasy point per minute beast. But the problem is we got a 218 over-under, so not too sure I'm looking to go here. Aaron Gordon, Evan Fournier, Cole Anthony, James Ennis, Frank Mason. I mean, you're dealing with a lot of injuries on the Orlando side, so if all these guys end up being out, they're going to kind of force our hands to play some of these guys. Evan Fournier, Cole Anthony, James Ennis is a guy that hasn't even been on the injury list, and now he is. So I'd love to tell you just fade it. It's a slow-paced game, but that's probably not going to be the case. You're going to be looking at Nikola Vucevic at the top. You're going to be looking at Terrence Ross, Dwayne Bacon, Michael Carter-Williams. All these guys are going to become big priorities if all these other guys are out because similar to the Oklahoma City side, the Orlando side, they're going to need these guys. That's all they got, so... Now, James Ennis is the only piece of this puzzle that hasn't been out before, so as far as where those minutes go is kind of interesting. I will say Phoenix kind of has a smaller second unit. Frank Kaminsky is kind of like a stretch 4, so I'd love to tell you we could play Mo Bamba. It's probably not going to be the case because I've been waiting on some injury news to be able to play him, unless Nikola Vucevic gets the rest, which maybe might happen because he's been playing so many minutes. Maybe Mo Bamba becomes a thing, but it's probably going to be Kem Birch and Okeke that are getting the minutes, really. So those are the two guys you could be looking to, but Gary Clarkson there as well, taking away some minutes from them. So like I said earlier, I'd rather just play Michael Carter-Williams, Dwayne Bacon, Terrence Ross, Vucevic, stick to those 4, feel real confident about it. Then on the Phoenix side, I'm not really looking to go to anyone, to be honest. Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, they're all back and healthy. So I think they're all just going to kind of cut into each other's usage, and they might all have like a decent game, but I don't really see them putting up a huge game. Chris Paul has put up 49 and 47 DraftKings points the last 2 times out. And he does get a pretty good matchup on this, taking on this Orlando squad that can't really guard anyone all too well. So Chris Paul would be my favorite just based on his price tag and being a little cheaper, being on-ball dominant as the point guard. And then you could be looking to play a Mikal Bridges or a Jay Crowder down here at 4.7 if you wanted for some more value. Jay Crowder does make sense because he played 33 minutes last time out. He's only 4.7. I think he could make a lot of sense as a play as well. Moving further along, we got the Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Denver Nuggets. LeBron James questionable, Anthony Davis questionable, Jamal Murray questionable. We got Will Barton and Gary Harris both being out, PJ Dozier being out. So on the Denver side, there is some usage that has opened up. So who that really goes to, it's going to be mainly Michael Porter for sure. As far as the Vegas line is concerned in this game, it comes with a 215 over-under with a 2.5-point spread in favor of the Los Angeles Lakers. Slowest pace game on the slate, lowest total on the slate. So kind of a catch-22 here because we do have some more usage bump opening up for Michael Porter Jr. at 5'9", and he is like a really good DraftKings point per minute producer. It's just a matter of the fact that he has to take on the Los Angeles Lakers, who are arguably the best team in the league defensively. So I don't really know. Between their pace and their defense, it's going to be tough to go there. Jamal Murray is listed as questionable. If he's out, Monte Morris, Campazzo, and RJ Hampton are going to see a bump. It's mainly going to be Monte Morris who'll get the start at 4.2, and I think that might kind of force our hands to have some interest in him because he's all the way down to 4.2. He was priced up more towards the 5K range, and this guy can definitely get it done for you at that price tag. So between this Denver value and the New Orleans value and the cheap guys on Orlando and Oklahoma City, I think there's going to be plenty of value to be throwing in your lineups to get these studs in. Now, I will say I'm honestly not really trying to pay up for anyone in this game as far as Nikola Jokic, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, all these guys priced up. I think there's some better options on the slate and more up-tempo opportunities and or some spots where there's some injuries that are going to force us to play other guys like a Chris Middleton on the Milwaukee side that we talked about earlier. So going to make it kind of quick and short here on this one. It's Michael Porter Jr. that's getting the biggest bump. We could be looking to some Monte Morris minutes, some RJ Hampton minutes down here for these cheap guys. So it'd be interesting to see how they grade out my final projection run for sure. Cleveland taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. This game comes in with a 219.5 over under, a 10-point spread in favor of the Los Angeles Clippers, expected to be a blowout as well as that, similar to that Bucks game. So Kawhi Leonard all the way up at 9.7. I'm not looking to play him while he has had a bunch of usage and he's been performing well. I just don't think this is a game that Kawhi Leonard steps up and really cares. I think he knows his team's going to win pretty easily. Not trying to play a guy that's not going to try to go into takeover mode at 9.7. No, thank you. Andre Drummond at 7.7 you can continue to play, I suppose, but J.R. Allen continues to dig into his usage. We've seen him play 16 and 17 minutes the last 2 times out. I don't know what's going on with him. So, I mean, they were both blowouts, so that's what's going on with him in a sense. But at the same time, it's like they're expected to get blown out again. So when are they going to let him play 35 minutes before they pull him is my concern there. And then Paul George continues to be out, so Lou Williams at 6'3 is an intriguing play. I would much rather play Lou Williams at 6'3 than Kawhi Leonard all the way at the top. So he'd be my favorite option as far as, a quote-unquote pay-up option on the Los Angeles Clippers side. And then down here you could get cute with some plays if it turns into a blowout, like a Luke Kennard or a Terrence Mann maybe. These guys can maybe see some extended run if this game does indeed turn into a blowout and could have big games for you. Terrence Mann seeing 33 minutes last time out, only putting up 22 DraftKings points, but the fact that he saw those many minutes is pretty intriguing. So, yeah. And then I will say on the Cleveland side, if I'm playing a guy in a blowout, it's going to be JaVale McGee at 3-1. This guy can absolutely crush that price tag in a blowout. We've only seen him play 11 minutes and 8 minutes the last 2 times out, which is a little ironic, but if you can get like 20 minutes if this game just blows out easily, you're going to be really happy with the production he puts up at his 3-1 price tag. Last game on the slate, Memphis taking on Sacramento. This game right now comes in with a 229.5 over-under with a 1.5 point spread in favor of the Memphis Grizzlies. So, fairly decent game. Both of these teams don't really scare me too much defensively. The Sacramento side definitely doesn't scare me defensively, so I'm going to love these Memphis guys. Jaren Jackson Jr. continues to be out. D'Anthony Melton continues to be out. Bane continues to be out. Marvin Bagley is listed as questionable on the Sacramento side, so maybe we could be looking to some more Bielitsa minutes. Let's see, at 3-6, last time Bagley was out, he saw 28 minutes, put up 35.25 DraftKings points. So you'd love to see that again. Bielitsa would become an absolute smash play at 3-6. D'Anthony Melton continues to be on the Memphis side as well. So Dillon Brooks at 5-4 makes a ton of sense as a play here. I'm going to absolutely love Dillon Brooks in this matchup. Consistently seeing 30-plus minutes and against a Sacramento team that's just terrible defensively, he makes a ton of sense. Brandon Clark, we're hoping to continue to see him out. As far as, Xavier Tillman, Gorgie Jang, and Kyle Anderson minutes. So Kyle Anderson at 6'3", I'm going to continue to like if he's out. If he comes back, I won't like Kyle Anderson quite as much. And then you got Xavier Tillman down here at 3'9". But he's only seen like 20 minutes a game, so I think that's a little too cute. But absolutely love John Morant, Jonas Valanciunas, and Dillon Brooks, Kyle Anderson. That core four there, so to speak, on the Memphis side makes a lot of sense. Jonas Valanciunas at 7'4". Absolutely can crush this price tag for sure. Seeing low to mid 30 minutes, putting up 60, 39, 38 DraftKings points the last 3 times out. And then John Morant at 7'6". Same applies, mid 30 minutes. Could see a big game out of him. De'Aaron Fox, if he continues to be out here, or if he is out, I would say, we're going to be having a lot more interest in guys like Buddy Hield and Halliburton. So Halliburton seen the start last time out. Both of these guys make a lot of sense at 6'6" and 7K. And I would be prioritizing them for sure because that's a big difference between having Fox in and Fox out as far as their usage is concerned. And yeah, last guy I would mention is Grayson Allen, Tyus Jones on the Memphis side. Both make a lot of sense as well. 4-3 and 5 and 4-5. Very intriguing plays. Specifically Grayson Allen. Bane continues to be out. D'Anthony Melton continues to be out. We're seeing this guy play mid 30 minutes. I put up 33 DraftKings points last time out. I will continue to like him at 4-3. And that is my overall breakdown on this one. Before I let you guys go, I got to give you my lock of the night. Let's get into it. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be Dillon Brooks at this 5-4 price tag, taking on this Sacramento team. I absolutely love Dillon Brooks at this price tag. We've seen some guys on the Memphis side as far as the backup guards go down with injury, being removed from the rotation. We're seeing solidified minutes for Dillon Brooks, so he's guaranteed to see 30-plus minutes, and I absolutely love this spot for him. The Sacramento defense has been, dreadful. Not concerned about slowing him down whatsoever, and then not to mention the price tag just makes it that much easier to click that plus button. This guy's going to chuck threes for you. You get that half-point bonus on DraftKings for the three-pointer. Last few times shooting 10 and 8 three-pointers, putting up 38, 31 DraftKings points, and I think he can continue those high upside games in this one. You can see him put up 40-plus DraftKings points in this one at only a mid-5K price tag. Absolutely love Dillon Brooks in this spot, and he is my lock of the night. So there you have it, guys. Dillon Brooks, get him in your lineups. That is all from me in this one. If you did enjoy the content, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, I would greatly appreciate that. And then if you are getting really serious about NBA DFS, grinding night in and night out, check out my Patreon package, link below in the description. Very affordable price. Looking at about $10 a month. I guarantee you're going to make that back real quickly, probably in the first night. So, thank you all for tuning in. Wish you all the best of luck tonight. We will see you in the next one.